It seems that this year, even American Motors is proud of their product. They no longer say, "What's a Matador?" Instead, they tell us, "This is a Matador." Dick Teague is the man responsible for styling at AMC, and he deserves all the accolades for a job well done. Without having the development budget of the big three, they wisely selected parts already available from the other manufacturers, like a GM collapsible steering column, a Ford Motorcraft carburetor, plus a Chrysler TorqueFlite automatic transmission. The amazing thing is that all the parts work well together. 30 miles an hour happened 3.5 seconds after we left the line. Our Matador X had the top-of-the-line 401 cubic inch V8 with a 4-barrel carb, and 50 miles an hour took 6.1 seconds. On the way to 60, the TorqueFlite transmission was smooth, but the engine was noisy. The run lasted 11.6 seconds. We ET'd the quarter mile in 16.57 seconds at a speed of 89 miles per hour. The best thing this Matador had going for it through the pylon course was the easy-to-grip padded steering wheel. About 60% of the overall weight rides up front, and this became clearly evident when you start pushing it through the cones, with a great deal of tire scrubbing and understeer. As per usual, we found some hesitation in the GM power steering unit when quickly going from a hard right to a hard left crank of the wheel. The engineers explained this as an inability of the power unit to keep up with the steering wheel in fast counter movements. Our tester had the heavy-duty suspension, yet body lean seemed excessive and recovery slow. The Matador features 10.9-inch power-assisted disc brakes up front with 8.5 by 2.5-inch drums in the rear. The stop from 30 took only 29 feet. Stopping distances were short and good. However, erratic locking of the rear wheels made straight line stopping very difficult. This one from 50 took 96 feet. On this last stop from 70, the brakes were extremely hot. Pedal fade was excessive, as was nosedive, and no amount of correction could keep it from going squirrely. The halt happened after 189 feet. The car was quite agile on the highway. However, it didn't portray these characteristics on the track. In high-speed cornering, the front end showed a decided tendency to wash out. The body leaned heavily in the corners, which was probably due to an abnormal amount of suspension travel. The unit body frame construction is undoubtedly the weakest point. It seems to trap all kinds of bumps, rattles, and noises in general. More insulation and a better chassis tuning would be a big help. And it's thirsty. In the time that we had the car, our overall fuel consumption measured out at 11.3 miles per gallon. For my money, the biggest improvement in this year's Matador came in the styling department. And you can't help but wonder how much of this came as a result of Roger Penske and NASCAR racing. The body is far more suitable from an aerodynamic standpoint than last year's flying brick. But it still lacks many refinements of its intermediate counterparts, like the Cutlass, Charger, Monte Carlo, etc. And then, too, you can't help but wonder why. In an era of shortages, of which fuel heads the list, that so much emphasis was placed on styling, and so little on economy.